just saying, in his America, you probably could just steal one and get away with it.
That is fair. We don't advise doing that, but if you're in San Francisco,
We don't advise it, but
I mean, like it's actually legal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like you're allowed to do that. They encourage that.
Oh yeah.
Good evening, degenerates. Welcome back to another episode of Degen Hours. College Football 25 is coming out in like a week and a half. Early release.
Oh yeah.
Mike bought the PS5 just for it. We're pre-ordering it. I'm getting my
Already
PS5.
pre-ordered.
It's only available on those new consoles, which is nice.
It's kind
but
of
that's
really
despite that, I think when people realize that, there's gonna be like an unbelievable shortage of these because I think a lot of people are still planning on just playing it without them.
That means get your PS5s early.
Yeah, get your PS5s. This is probably the most anticipated sports video game launch in the last like decade.
Already named game of
last
the year.
college football game. Yeah, NCAA
Game of the
football
decade.
14 was the last time you were able to play college football on a video game. But College Football 25 just released their rankings for all of the different teams in the games. They have hardest stadiums to play at, offense, defense, and their total rankings. So what we're gonna do today is go over everything they released. I'll read them out. We'll share them with you guys. We'll throw it up on the screen, and then we're gonna debate because there's some pretty crazy rankings in those. Like with
Something don't make sense.
so a lot of things don't make sense there, but we're gonna cover all that. Let's get right into the action. Starting from the top of the releases, this is the first thing they released, and it definitely caused quite a bit of controversy online.
Yeah.
The top 10 toughest places to play in college football. So I'm gonna read you off the list that they put out, and we'll go from there.
Makes no sense.
Number 1. Kyle Field, Texas A&M.
It doesn't make no sense.
That's not crazy.
Let me finish the list, and then we'll go through them. 2, Bama. 3, LSU. 4, Ohio State. 5, Georgia. 6, Penn State. Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Florida State, and Florida. There's your top 10. I just want to start real quick. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. So if you have a home field advantage, toughest place to play, your winning record at home should at least semi-correlate with that, right? At least somewhat.
Or 100% correlate with it.
Well, it could 100% correlate, but then, I guess it's like saying current toughest places to play because like teams could have been bad 5 years ago and like got really popular in the last couple of years. Now their environment's crazy. But in general, it should. Over the last decade, just last 10 years, college football home winning percentage, right? That should tell you something about how hard it is to play there. I don't want to talk about any team besides Texas A&M. I have the top 25 teams. Texas A&M is not in that. They're not in the top 25. Highest winning percentage at home. How in the world did they get number 1? Like I don't know. Just because they have a big stadium.
I think it's because they're not good as a football team normally, but every good team that comes in has a tough time playing. Every team. Like they were Bama's joker.
I get that, but if they're not winning at home, then like what are we talking about?
But
number 1 overall.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Tyler said is my list isn't of all time, but it's of the past 3 years.
Mine's past 10 years.
Oh, 10 years. Yeah. So okay, mine's a little bit narrowed in. And then of course you look at the top 50 and you have to go to 31 for Texas A&M. Their record is 13-4 with a 76.5% win rate. Like that's not great.
It's not bad.
No, it's not
bad.
No,
but it's also not. But it's also not 1 through 10.
That's 4 losses in the last 3 years. If you look at the last 10 years, the top 2 teams, Bama, 58-3, Clemson 58-3, Ohio State 55-4, Oklahoma 50-5, Georgia 50-5, Michigan 52-6. Like these are teams that have lost, low mid single digit games in the last decade at home.
Yeah.
Like all of those teams should be on this list, which brings me to my next point. Clemson not in the top 10 is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. We're tied for the number 1 home winning percentage the last 10 years. We had the longest home winning streak in college football history before.
Shout out South Carolina.
2 years ago, last game of the season, we lost by 1 point. Fucking Spencer Rattler. Don't get me started about that.
No,
but
don't bring it up.
Us not in the top 10 is ridiculous. So those are my 2 points. A&M, no business at number 1. I don't care if you want to put them at like 8 or 9 for some arbitrary reason. I wouldn't, you can't really argue with 8 or 9. I mean, I probably still could, but number 1 is crazy to me. I think it should definitely be Bama or Georgia now I'm even fine with. But Clemson not 10 is also crazy. Those are my 2 things with that list.
It is for next year though, right?
It's just toughest stadiums to play in the game.
Also,
like the hardest rated.
Because they don't think Clemson's
yes,
it
would be for this coming
maybe they
year
think Clemson's not going to be as good this year.
Well, the rest of the rankings might tell you differently. But
No,
we'll get into all
That's
those.
very interesting. That was very interesting.
Well, I don't want to get caught up in like recency bias.
Yeah.
Because I mean, historically, like a lot of stadiums are probably tougher to play than Clemson's stadium, even though you guys past 10 years or whatever have that insane. You're like
Yeah, if
tied
you
with
go back,
Bama
like,
or
the
whatever.
last
You know what I
50 years,
mean?
sure.
So like, yeah, like the past decade, you guys have been one of the best like college football programs.
Yeah.
So like, and obviously Alabama
And tied for number 1 winning percentage. And I'm not even talking about being number 1. I'm just saying in the top 10.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like they I don't know the stats historically, so like maybe it doesn't support A&M. Like maybe
I
there's
think
just
they
no
also
stat.
factored
It,
in.
like,
it doesn't. A&M wasn't very good for.
But like their 4 losses probably are like Georgia, Bama.
Yeah, no.
Like Clemson has to play like nobody in their home games. They still dominate. They might have to. I just feel like they play one tough home game a year.
No, I mean A&M's been in one of the hardest.
I don't
sides
know.
of
I
the
think that
SEC
was
for
a huge
while.
factor. But
Yeah,
I
for
agree
sure.
that they shouldn't be 1 and Clemson should probably be in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it
That
should
was
be
my
3.
only. Those are
Yeah.
my only arguments there. Mike, I don't know if you had anything else to add, but I know we both kind of objected to the A&M at the top of that list.
I mean, I agree with that. And just the one thing I would say is like, I mean, again, maybe this is recency bias, but it's like if you're gonna go that far down the list and like, if win rate matters or doesn't matter for the overall ranking of it, like how is Tennessee not up there? Because Tennessee had that crazy game where they upset Bama 2 years ago, and then
What's
broke
Tennessee
down the.
at? Let's see.
I mean, they're
Tennessee,
definitely not top 10. I know.
Clemson's 12, Tennessee's 13. So they're,
I mean,
they're right
close,
there.
yeah, pretty close. But still, it's just like I don't know how you're throwing a team that's A&M 31. I don't know.
Yeah, and I
Okay,
mean, I
that's
also
good,
kind of
but-
object to Florida rounding out the top 10, but
Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing in that
Probably
list.
Florida's been good for so long. They've been like up there for so long.
They've been, dude. Florida hasn't really been super
Yeah.
relevant since Tebow.
Florida's 38 on my 3-year list.
No, but
too.
like if we're doing the whole, they're probably like we're doing 10 years. If you do 50 years,
Yeah,
all
if
the
you do
years
50, but
prior.
I'm saying like for the video game's also like going into this current season.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. They're kind of
It's
back
a
and
weird
forth
mix.
with what
The
they chose to
stadium's a
do.
weird one because it is like has historic significance, but also is like talking about going into the
maybe
game.
they're so sharp. Maybe we
But
should
yeah,
get every home.
so that
game.
was the first thing they released. The next thing they released was the top 10 offenses, and this definitely was an interesting one. So at number 1 they have Georgia, tied actually with Oregon at a 94 overall for offense. 3 they have Bama, tied with Texas for 91. Then they go
ridiculous.
it's ridiculous.
Ohio State
State's not-
89, LSU 89, Miami 89, Colorado 89, Missouri 89, and rounding out the top 10, Clemson 87.
That is the most belligerent thing I've ever
This
heard.
is the worst list I've ever.
I mean,
I have a lot I object to, but go ahead.
just
You go-
opening
yeah.
Ohio State being the same ranked as LSU and Colorado, right? They were all 89s.
and Miami.
And Miami
And
is the
That
most
is- that is
absurd thing I've
crazy.
ever heard
That
in
is
my life.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're shooting darts at like any names. I mean, that's absurd. Ohio State's been like the most every year, even last year when they were bad, like they still put up points even with shitty quarterback. They have the best everything this year.
Yeah.
They got an upgrade quarterback. I mean, points wise, Ohio State's been top 3.
Ohio State, yeah. So if you look at last season just for offense, right? Colorado's not in the top 35. Yeah. And you'd have to scroll for a while to get them. They improved their O-line with some transfers. But having them tied with Ohio State,
is ridiculous.
No, it's literally
who just
insane.
got Will Howard, you just got
and Quentin Junkins, the number one wide receiver in the country.
Yeah, your every skill position for Ohio State is ranked higher than almost every skill position for Colorado. And Colorado's in there. And also, Miami's not in the top 35 either.
Miami's-
Yeah,
I
where
get-
did Miami come
Miami,
from?
I get the transfer. It's
signed.
because of Cam
But,
Ward,
I-
which is
Still,
kind
I
of
don't-
crazy
I still don't think
to
that's
say.
enough.
But I mean, this list is so bad. I stared at this for so long. I don't know
How
how.
is Bama at 3? That's also a crazy one.
I think this list is going off like it has to be going off last year because
It's not
as
though.
an LSU.
No, it's
no,
not.
no, I
though.
know it's not, but I'm saying like as an LSU fan, we are not that high either.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
how's Bama? Bama's big thing last year was like they have no offense.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying it's definitely not off last year because Miami and Colorado are nowhere to be found in any rank.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
any,
know.
you can look at any stat
It's all
you want. They're
hype.
nowhere
Yeah.
near there. So Colorado also hasn't changed their team a whole lot.
No,
So I don't know, and they went to a harder
they're
conference. So I
they're
don't,
not. They're not a very good team.
It's the most ridiculous.
Like I would
thing I've
actually
seen.
take Ole
Their
Miss
over-under win total is like
Colorado.
5.
100%. Not even a sweat. Give me
No
Jackson
sweat.
Dart and now anybody.
Ole Miss
Over-
is ranked. They're an 87, and Colorado's an 89, so they're 2 full points ahead of them.
I would take anyone in the you can name the next 15.
And then
Colorado
it doesn't-
shouldn't be above an 85.
And also, I'm always a Clemson homer, but I will tell you this right now: there is a 0% chance Clemson is a top 10 offense in the country.
oh, no,
We're
yeah,
just
that's not even a sweat.
We're just not. I mean, last season, our offense was so bad. We literally could not throw the ball
No,
the
you
entire year. It didn't matter who was in at what position. No receivers were productive.
If it wasn't
except
for
like,
Maffa and Shipley, you guys would have had
yeah, we only time
problems
they weren't
here.
even running unbelievably. Like our offense is so bad ever since. I mean, we were bad before we got Garrett Riley,
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley's brother, and then it hasn't improved at all. It's honestly probably gotten worse. So I don't know how we cracked this top 10. I'll
Maybe
be a
this
Clemson
is-
homer when I need to, but this makes zero sense.
I just
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say, I feel like, I mean, first of all, I'm just gonna say this list is absolutely insane. But I think the logic on like how they got to these numbers is probably what they're saying is like certain key players are so instrumental that they're gonna like boost them up to
we
be.
added no one.
Who's Clemson have?
Well, okay, besides Clemson, but I'm thinking like
Who's
Cade.
Miami?
Don't
does
talk
Colorado?
please don't
maybe
talk about
Cade.
Cade.
Cam
Don't
Ward,
talk about
I
Cam
think-
Ward for Miami.
I mean, dude,
and then,
I think our quarterback next year is Garrett Nussmeier. So
He
I
is.
mean,
The thing that just sparked my thing real quick is that if you think about all the teams that were said, those are the teams that are going to make money, going to get news lines, and have bigger fan bases.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it. And I think that's why they did it.
I mean, it's probably
Colorado
for, it's
pushes
probably for
everything.
controversy and media
Miami,
too.
huge.
Yeah.
Clemson, massive. Like, I think that's the only way.
Like
That's
in
the only thing that
no
makes
in
sense.
no world is Missouri and Ohio State the same as Miami and Colorado.
No,
like
it's-
it's just
No,
you
it
can't.
doesn't
Missouri's
make any
offense.
sense.
Dude, Missouri is the
I
best
think you
wide
could
receiver
see
in
an
the country.
argument for Missouri having
Yeah.
a top 3 or 4 offense.
They're the
in
best wide
country
receiver in the
next
country.
year.
Next
Yeah,
year.
and they returned everyone.
And Brady Cook. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
literally everyone.
Oh.
So that list was absolutely nuts to me. I couldn't even
Literally
find
made no
any way
sense.
to
And
rationalize
and also,
any of it.
what the hell is Texas doing in the top 10?
Oh, that's not even. I don't want to start with that.
I mean,
So that I mean,
They
all
lost
right,
their
whatever.
only wide receivers that were good, and now they got.
Texas
all,
was
of-
15.
all
Also,
of-
don't have
every
they were
single one of
15
our
last year, by the way.
receivers is either a 4-star, and then we have
All these teams
a
have 4
5-star
and
on the
5-star.
everyone is a
O-line.
4-star.
No,
What was Texas offense last year?
15?
They weren't even top 10, and they got worse.
But that is also for the entire college football. To be fair, so you have offenses like LSU or sorry, not LSU, SMU and Liberty in there, which you wouldn't probably say are better than
because of the competition.
Texas,
that's
'cause they
on.
don't
Give
play
them 12.
anyone.
I'll give them
they
12. Give them
don't play
11.
anyone. But yeah,
criminal.
Texas offense wasn't bad. They were actually
We are definitely.
no,
still
you're not
looking
bad.
insane.
but
And
you're
without
just-
your
you're
running
not top
back,
10.
who's
they
your
were
running
ahead of Ohio State last year. We'll just say that.
Well, yeah, that was a down year for Ohio State.
For
This
sure.
is the worst year.
A lot of people
Yeah.
were ahead of Ohio State.
But all
last year.
right, moving on from offenses, the defense one I don't think they got so wrong.
I
But we can talk about it.
Completely disagree.
This
With
is
that.
All
lock.
right, we'll see. Number 1, Ohio State.
Easy.
96 overall by themselves.
They have
Number
6
2,
first round.
Georgia, 94 overall by themselves. Huge gap after that. A bunch of teams at 90. So this is all tied for 3. But I'll go in order that they have them. So it might be like, a little higher 90 because they have them in order. Oregon, Bama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan are all at 90. Then you have Texas at 8 at 88, tied with Penn State and Utah to round out the top 10.
There's literally just, I mean, the most glaring thing to me in that list.
I'm guessing you're saying
Is
Texas.
Texas.
No, where's Iowa?
That is
Where is Iowa? They
Iowa
were
sh-
literally the shutout team of the entire year last year.
That was actually
They
my
had the-
number 1 takeaway. In my
They
list,
had the
too. Yeah.
best defense. Everyone talked about Iowa's defense. They couldn't score for shit, so it makes sense that they're not going to be a good overall, but their defense should 100% be top 5. That is insane that they missed
I
that.
completely
I
Does
agree.
not make
They did
any
lose
sense.
a decent amount of people, but I do
They
completely
lost
agree.
a decent amount of people, and the rest of the Big Ten only got a bunch better. Like we
I
brought
still-
out a
I still-
quarterback.
that means-
Oregon's now in our division. is
Not
gonna
top 10
smoke.
is crazy for Iowa, though. They were 4th overall in the entire league last year. The only teams better than them, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State,
I know, only the
who are
Big Ten.
all ranked.
That's
I'm saying
also
I think
literally
top 10,
like
yeah.
incriminating a
is all
team
Big Ten,
before. Like, you can't say that they're going to be bad because everyone else got good.
I actually don't think
That's
their
not a
defense
fair
will be bad
argument
next
either.
year. I think
Well, I mean,
they'll
they
have a good defense
lost
next year.
their 2 best players, so I'm just assuming with that and the fact that they're going to play better competition, I think that's
To
why
be
they're probably
fair,
at 11 or
I-
12.
The
I
majority of the
understand
teams
them
did-
losing players.
The majority of their teams did lose all their players. Like, if you want to talk about losing players, I would say
Yeah.
Michigan shouldn't be top 10 then because they lost everybody. They had 13 players drafted or something.
No, but their defense-
almost
But
all
they
of
can
them.
recruit a lot
yeah,
better.
they have
than-
insane. Their backups were playing insane.
That's fine. I mean, Iowa's
But
defense.
regardless,
Iowa
I mean,
and
they-
Michigan had very comparable defenses last year, and Michigan lost more players than Iowa did.
I mean,
But like, I don't think that. I do agree completely. I think that was the biggest snub of this list was Iowa.
Also, maybe comparable in that it's top 10, but again, like you said, Iowa is the top 4 in the nation.
Michigan.
I mean,
was one,
that's-
but yeah.
like the best defense
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
nation.
They were
Okay,
one.
that was
They were
actually
one.
I actually knew that, and that was a
Could you read off the
I think
teams?
it's
No, I
absurd
don't
for
know. I
90.
don't know
My
why I
biggest
said
thing
that. I
is
don't
the
know why I
Texas
said
one.
that
The
were
Texas
tied at
one.
'Cause I
90.
actually knew
Yeah,
that.
the teams tied at 90 are starting from 3: Oregon, Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Michigan.
Yeah, I see.
3 through 7.
Notre Dame's a little.
I was
Notre
gonna
Dame's
say, where did Notre Dame come from?
Every
No.
year, bro. They
Every
try
year.
so hard to make
They
them
were
a team.
8 last year.
But I'm saying, like, who did they play?
Yeah.
They played, like, the nobodies of the world. Actually, did they play Clemson?
They did.
Oh, they did? I don't even know.
We beat them.
No, I'm saying they did nothing last year. They're always put up high every year, which makes no sense. Penn State is better than every single one of them. They brought back everyone. They have like 2 freshmen on their team that are insane.
Was Penn State's defense like? Oh yeah, no, it was
Unbelievable.
really good. Yeah, it was
Literally
really good last year.
unbelievable.
No, I knew
like,
that,
there's
yeah.
no in universe. Did Texas bring back? Or, like, didn't you lose a bunch of people? On
We
defense?
lost a lot of our.
I don't know
defense.
how. I don't know what these rankings are on.
Actually,
I
probably
would
like
love to know.
66%.
To
of
be
our
fair, I
transfers
do
were all
think
defense
Texas
players.
defense, much more than their offense, deserves to be on this list. Texas's defense is really good, and they got 2 of, I think, the highest transfers in the transfer portal. I
mean,
know you
yeah.
got the number 1 safety. I know you got
We did.
And
you got Caleb Downs, you got Andrew Makuba, and then
Mm-hmm.
you got, was it the corner? I don't know. You got some player who was like the highest at their position at transfer. I don't know if you know who it is.
thinking
I'm forgetting.
no, it's not Nyblack. It's not Wingo. I don't know. It'll come to
Whatever
me.
it is. But I do think Texas defense will be good next year. But this list, I think they got more right than the offensive one. I don't know if you agree with that.
I don't know how you.
I would
can-
agree. Yeah.
I do love Oregon at 3. If you think about it and watch their games last year, they weren't just winning 50 to whatever. They're winning 50 to 6, 50 to 10, 50 to. They're actually a really sneaky defense. I like.
Unless they
That's a
played
sneaky-
Washington.
Yep.
Well, Penix didn't have crazy games in those games.
I think Washington put up 30 both games.
No,
I
I'm saying,
could be
but-
wrong on that.
No, I think
But
it was.
I'm pretty sure they
They put up
30.
over 30.
I thought
Yeah.
it was 28. It was 28. It could have been 30.
I'm pretty
but
sure,
I don't.
yeah.
I'm not saying like you could have other factors click in that help. I don't think that he had his best games against Oregon, which he was. I mean, they went to the championship. They were
Yeah,
the
and
best team
Oregon
in the country.
also murdered the transfer portal.
Yeah.
No, I think
It's
they're
same
gonna
as
be.
it was Oregon, Texas, and Ohio State absolutely
I
slaughtered
love
the
it.
transfer
I
portal.
love it.
All right, and then to the moment we've all been waiting for. Top 10 overall team power rankings. This is the list that really caused people to lose their minds.
This is snipe.
Number 1, Georgia, 95 overall.
Easy.
Highest ranked team.
Yep.
They're ahead of Ohio State by 2 points. Ohio State's tied with one other team. Ohio State and Oregon both 93 overall.
Interesting.
Giving Oregon.
Oregon,
a lot.
yeah, we'll talk.
Interesting.
We'll talk about it in a sec. 2 teams at 92, Alabama and Texas. So 4 and 5.
Fair.
It's annoying, but
Then there
fine.
are 3 teams at 90, starting
is
from
ridiculous.
6.
A little high for Texas.
Yeah, this is
Clemson,
ridiculous.
Notre Dame, and LSU at 90.
What are we doing here?
5, 6,
What are we
7.
doing here?
Yeah.
Um,
That's a wild 3.
oh, sorry, 6, 7, 8. And then to round out the top 10 at 88, Penn State and Utah.
Why Utah?
Ridiculous.
No, I mean, what?
Clemson at 6. I mean, you gotta love that.
That's
I agree.
ridiculous.
I agree completely.
That's ridiculous.
It must be a mix of like what the future holds and like past performance.
No, it's
What the
literally
hell does
for
the future hold
it's
for
for
Clemson?
next
No,
season.
I know, but I'm saying when they were making this, like they were like, oh, like they've heard of Clemson. They're like, oh, Clemson's always really good. Like,
yeah,
we
I think
gotta
it was people that don't know.
Yeah,
what's going
They've
on
just
in
never
football
seen
right now.
football.
It's crazy because they've been like doing the stats and everything for this game for so long. Like they're saying this
No,
is gonna
this
be
is
the most
gnarly.
realistic, like accurate way or like game that's ever been out. Like way more than Madden.
I mean, I hope LSU's a top 10 team. But
There's-
that'd
well,
be
that's what I'm saying.
amazing.
Clemson's
There's
preseason ranked
literally no way.
15th. Clemson's preseason ranked
You lost
15th.
everyone
be
and you have
honest-
Garrett
and we're number
Nussmeier.
6.
Jared Nussmeier, Heisman campaign.
There's no
Sneaky.
way that's a top 10
There's
team.
just no way.
Like Utah, I can understand because they're going to walk and probably have an easy chance to win their conference and
Yeah.
make the maybe probably Final Four, like have a bye. That I can understand because you'll be proven right. LSU has to go through hell next year. The
But we
SEC is-
do every year.
No, but like you did it with the Heisman.
No, but
best players.
that's when we had like our really, really good seasons. But I mean, like, even a standard LSU season is like, with the expanded playoff, like, I don't know. I feel
8-4?
like we could
8 and
Sneak
4,
in.
9 and 3.
I'm
8,
saying
4,
yeah.
9, and 3, you know?
Yeah, it's just not this tie for
A
the
couple
fifth
other
best
teams I want to throw in there that weren't in the top 10. 13, also an 88, so tied technically with number 9, but just lower on the rankings list, is Miami.
They love
They
Miami.
love Miami.
Colorado
They are riding
16
Cam
at
Ward.
an 87 overall. And then there was one more that
They're a
jumped
C
out
at
to me.
best.
Oh yeah, they have. Let me just read from 20 to 25 on
Yeah,
this.
wild.
Virginia Tech, NC State, Kansas, Arizona, Oklahoma State, Iowa.
Arizona's getting slept on.
Dude, I don't know how in the world Virginia Tech is number 20.
Dude, they upset everyone and their mama last year.
They're so bad, though.
But they're so bad.
VT,
I know they're bad, but they look
I don't
up
know
to-
what. So, like, the overall rankings must have had some extra stuff to play into it because there's no way this is.
They also have to
objective.
factor in, like, they might have a really good cornerback that's ranked as a 93, and that evens out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, the player.
Maybe
rating.
future schedule. Like I haven't looked at.
Yeah, maybe
you
there's a
know,
bunch of
Virginia
shit,
Tech's
yeah.
schedule, but maybe it's pretty favorable. Like who knows?
Dude, I don't know. I just felt like these rankings, were the best things I've ever seen. Clemson's definitely a top 6 team.
Wow.
And
that
I
is
just wanted to make sure
wild.
we got that in before.
I-
Oh, that's you, baby.
I think it's also important to remember that like these rankings are pretty much as important as the AP like preseason rankings
Sure.
that are, literally mean nothing.
I do
And
think
it's
these
like
are gonna.
as-
They said these are gonna be changing weekly
Oh,
too. So
I was
after week
just
one,
gonna
this
say
is
they're
gonna
gonna be
look a lot different,
updating.
yeah.
Players will be getting better or worse
But they
depending on
still
how they're
stink,
actually
you know?
playing. So it's like, you
They
know,
still sting, even though they mean nothing. It still hurts.
oh, I hear you.
I mean, I
but
think-
it's
I
just
think
Ohio
it's-
State
it's-
too. How
No,
much
no,
were
I'm
you-
saying like even like little things that like just piss me off.
Yeah,
you know?
I think
Just like
for
the
our 3
outside
teams, like
chirpers.
they'll remain top 10. Mike, you better hold on to this because
Yeah,
I think,
that's
Texas
literally
flipping out.
hilarious.
We do
Last
have-
year he got.
That is pretty
guy
important
talking.
that we have all 4 of our teams in the top 10.
Yeah.
Bang.
All 4 of them are top 8.
Yeah, shout out,
Yeah.
shout out Tate.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tate's gone. UCLA is nowhere to be found on these lists for good reason.
Oh, I mean,
But yeah, I mean, I'm pumped to play this game.
Oh, dude. Same.
And it gets me in the mood for college football. It's like we're
that,
coming up
the
on.
league.
We just had 4th of July weekend. We're coming up on like early mock draft season for fantasy. I'm gonna be mock drafting while I'm playing Dynasty in college football.
Oh, it's gonna be the
25.
greatest like football. Just
while watching the pump up college football
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, the sick
and
ass
While
TV.
watching the
on
league.
another,
Yeah.
and-
Oh my
Just that's why
God.
we have the 4 TVs downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God. I'm gonna
Multitasking.
explode.
Multitasking at its best.
But you need a PS5 to play this game.
Unfortunately, or
So,
like the
just-
new Xbox.
We'll
whatever it
we'll
is.
drop the link in our bio.
Yeah.
Use code DGen.
Yeah, use code DGen, get 20% off.
One of these days. one of these
PlayStation, if you're
days.
watching, please sponsor us.
Yeah,
Well,
shut
I think
up.
you know
Or
in
college
Gavin
football.
Newsom's
Yeah,
Yeah,
or college
California.
football. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna continue down that thread.
Wait,
He brought
Well,
up Gavin Newsom. I don't know where he was going with that.
What?
No, we're
know-
good. We're
Mike
good.
just will rewatch the debate and is getting all excited about politics these days.
No, that's definitely not.
Is he on your card for 2024?
No,
Oh.
no. I'm just saying, in his America, you probably could just steal one and get
Oh.
away with it.
That is fair. We don't
Well-
advise doing that, but if you're in San Francisco,
Yeah,
that's
don't-
fine.
yeah,
yeah.
if
We
you're
don't
California.
advise it, but
yeah.
you
I mean,
could
like it's
do
actually
that.
legal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like you're allowed to do that. They encourage that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they don't want violence.
It might be a
acted
little over
upon them.
$999, but
I mean, how do you
It's
think
not.
Mike got
It's-
his
it's
PS5?
not over 900.
Mike
How
did
much is
just
PS5?
come back from San
PS4
Francisco
is
with a new
$400,
PS5.
like $450.
PS5.
PS5 is $400.
Oh my God! If it's under $999,
Dude,
you
you're literally
not
so
in
good.
trouble.
You could get 2 of them and you'll be fine.
It sounds like you
Hypothetically, we're definitely not.
Yeah, yeah,
Sounds
no,
like you
not advocating
have
for
some
this.
experience.
Not
advocating
advocating,
for
but
this.
Mike did just come back from San Francisco with a new PS5 that he said he paid for. So I don't want to say
Fair-
just
I don't
one.
know.
Probably same
Just
way you
one?
got
had a
that
bad gambling trip. All of a sudden, has a new PS5.
I have one question, Mike.
I've seen this story
Will
before.
you get an Arch Manning jersey if Quinn gets benched?
I mean, I'll get an Archman jersey regardless if Quinn gets benched.
Okay.
He's a supporter of both quarterbacks.
I don't know. He just.
I'm a
Gotta
supporter
worry
of
about
Texas.
No, Mike plays both sides.
He plays both sides of the fence. He puts from the rough.
Yeah.
I'm getting,
We've seen a swing.
Yeah, we've seen, I know you swing.
I'm getting a Matthew Golden jersey as well because that guy can ball.
I don't even know who that is.
He's one of our receivers, 4-star receiver, baby.
When did he come on
From
your team?
Oregon State?
Has he played a game?
No, maybe he's a 3-star.
Is he from Oregon State?
Something like that.
A 3-star receiver.
Is the guy
Maybe-
DJ was
Was he
throwing
a
to last
freshman
year?
or is he a transfer?
No, he's a transfer.
So he
Oregon-
hasn't
from
even,
Oregon
He's a
State.
transfer.
wait, he
Well,
hasn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
played a game for Texas, and you're gonna
No.
buy a jersey.
Oh,
He will
this
not
guy's
be buying
gonna
that
ball.
jersey.
This
That's
guy's
just
gonna ball.
these are all words. He's not going to buy
Nah,
that jersey.
yeah, you know, we'll see.
But all right,
We'll see. Wow.
there you have it. We could probably mumble around just the 4 of us college football for hours,
Yeah.
but
Oh my gosh.
we're trying to keep this concise. College football season's coming up. Mike, why don't you tell the people what they need to do before they close out the video?
All right. Well, you should scroll down a little, and then there's a thumbs up button. You press that thumbs up button until it turns white, and then you liked it. Then you go down a little
I
more,
think it
and you click. Stop it! I am talking.
It's crazy how much extra time Texas fans have because they know they're not going to get anywhere deep, so they just have time
He has
to get
time to practice all these
accents.
accents.
Yeah. PS5s.
And then you go down and you click the button that says comment, and then you write a little message to them, and you tell them to shut the bleep up, and then you go back up and you press the big red square button that says subscribe, and then to the left of that, I think you press the little ding ding button that says turn the notification bells on, and you go bing 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 bing.
Are you ordering them to do something? Sounds
No,
like
no, no.
Was
I'm
that a
asking.
German accent?
Sounds
I
German,
thought I
and
knew- I
you're
thought at
pointing and
first
you're
that-
screaming.
Yeah, last time we had
Okay,
that
all
happen,
right,
a couple
all right,
countries
all
got
right,
involved. It was
all
a whole
right.
world thing.
All right, this is a strike for Tyler.
Whoa, what were you doing with your hands?
Des Bryant.
No, normally it's
No.
I don't know what
No,
I
Mike.
After that accent, I thought he'd be doing some different hand gestures.
No, Mike was acting a little different. The Euros were on. He's watching Germany play.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
yeah,
say.
he's
He's getting a
excited.
little excited. But all right, yeah.
I thought
Mike
it was
closed
a
it
French
out.
accent.
Enjoy your week. Go by the game.
Oui, oui.
Let's go college football. We're almost here.
Go Buckeyes, baby.
Escargot.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. The real Tigers.
Hook 'em.
The real Tigers.